welcome to your happiest hour on every Thursday here in the Hogs Happy Hour. We appreciate y'all joining in on the Four Star Sports Media Network. If you're on Facebook, like and share. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Four Star Sports is almost at 100 subscribers, so that'll be big for us.
Slowly but surely,
Ashton,
Blake. Slowly but
yeah,
surely.
Ashton, look like you are just relaxing on a Thursday, probably drinking some coffee.
You know what? I went to the doctor today. I got tested for strep, man, and I
Oh,
have drank more coffee today. I drank 4 gallons of coffee
hold on.
today just to make sure, my throat doesn't get too dry, man. So I'm I think last week when I popped into the show, couldn't even see my face. So yeah, I am definitely relaxed right now.
So,
But I'm prepared to
well,
talk some Razorback sports.
yeah, I'll tell you who was very relaxed last week, and that was those LSU Tigers, because they ran Arkansas out of the gym. It was not a competitive game. I texted in the group that LSU might score 100 in this game. They almost scored 50 in the first half. Ended up being 95-74. Some stats real quick. Jalen Graham, he actually had a decent game. He played 31 minutes and had 18 points. And then, of course, the Mr. Consistency, Mr. Mark, he had 20 points. And then Mitchell, he added 10, and no one else was in double figures.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's very, very depressing, I would say.
Yeah, not a great showing by any means. I felt like, man, I think everybody felt like maybe we had turned the corner, you know, as far as, playing teams that you should beat. And we beat Missouri. I don't think we've had a quad one win in, heck, I don't know, a month and a half.
Yeah. Probably
Um,
since I don't know if Duke even counts as a quad one.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, at this point, I look back and I go, how in the absolute heck did this squad of all teams beat Duke? Like I don't even know. I don't I don't understand how the heck we did it because um, Musk got this team and it seems as if they just won't buy in. And even when he's tried to change the game plan to work the ball inside, Graham has a great game and Mitchell has I think he's been a lot better the last 3 games or so. But we still can't defend a 3-point shot. Why is it that every team we play shoots 3-pointers like the
I,
Golden State Warriors?
I know. And Muss even said, Muss says he's done everything he's done. Muss's first year at Arkansas, I think they led the nation in 3-point defense. So I mean, he's doing the same things. They're just not. I don't know. I guess it's
Did
not.
he did is the problem? Did he get players? Did he get players from winning programs, or did he get the best players off the terrible teams? I look back
Yeah.
and I was listening to a podcast the other day. L. Ellis was the best player off of a horrendous Louisville team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't even think he did. He touch the floor in the LSU game. I don't think he did.
Let me see. He looking at the box score. He is not in the box score. So
Didn't even
yep.
touch the floor.
Yep.
So we're talking about this is a scholarship player who's not even touching the floor. You mean to tell me that we couldn't better use a scholarship? Couldn't put a scholarship to better use on someone who could possibly play?
I mean, Lawson Blake Lawson Blake is in the box score. So,
Yeah, I
but
think he
not
came in for like the
really.
last 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But the thing is I don't know. I guess Musk didn't do a very good job evaluating the talent for this group that came in. I feel like we have more of a we do a really good job of evaluating soapbox dramas in Fayetteville than we do evaluating
and
talent.
and
But
love triangles.
man,
Love triangles.
I don't know. It's been a drama filled season for the Razorbacks. We haven't performed the way we want to. Players getting into it with Muss.
Hmm. Yeah, was it the second media timeout? I think it was maybe the third. Mitchell had to be kind of held back from going
You
after
know what? I
Muss.
think Must is so frustrated that he doesn't know who to be mad at. I don't even think that was really on Mitchell.
No.
Minifield should have come to the basketball or taken off on a fast break, but he just stood there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if Must knows who to even holler at this point.
Mm. No.
So uh, obviously, we're not making the tournament, Blake.
No. Can
I
we?
don't. I
Can
think at this
we?
point, I think we can accept we're not making the NIT.
Yeah. Can we skip the SEC tournament? Like, is that? Can we just? Can we just not go?
Uh, but you turn the page. All right, so let's turn the page and think
Mm-hmm.
about look to next year. What if you're if you are a Hog fan and we're Hog fans, but if you're a Hog
Mm-hmm.
fan out there, what is a realistic expectation for Arkansas next year in the SEC for basketball? What do you want to see?
Yeah. You know, I would say that at least be top six team. You know, I mean, I think this year you just crumple it up, throw it away.
And
And,
and I think everybody's blamed it on transfers. Oh, we got all these transfers. You go back and look at every season Muss has been here. He brings in 5 new guys a year,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
whether they're
this isn't.
transfers or freshmen. They've
Yeah,
never
it's
been
not
in the
anything
system,
new.
right? Regardless, they've never been in the system.
Yeah.
So to blame it on new guys, no, you can't do that because it's a new system. To even the incoming freshmen, it's a new
Mm-hmm.
system. But what I would like to see is development of what we do have. It seems as if we're struggling to get develop our players to develop, and maybe we could attribute that to maybe he needs a better assistant coaching staff.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about it before that his assistants are kind of brand new to coaching. Now I know it's Ronnie Brewer and his son we're mainly talking about, but his son's been with them a while as doing little like grad assistant type things, but and Ronnie Brewer's been there and he's played in the league. He knows basketball, but I think Muss in his coaching career, Muss has really depended on his assistants.
I think what's bothered me the most, Blake, is you got a team that goes into halftime and a team that comes out and it feels like no adjustments were made.
Yeah.
Surely someone's got to step up on that staff and say this. We got to do this. We got to do that to get better. And I don't see it. I don't see adjustments being made. And at times throughout some games, and I don't know if I can blame him. It almost appears as if Muss is just given up. When we get down, people are going to think this is funny. When we get down by 2 points, it's almost as if the game's over. Like we can't recover from a 2 point deficit, and whether that we've got guys who don't have that chip on the shoulder mentality that they've got something to prove. I've said that I miss the Kamani Johnson. Thought you never say that. You missed the Kamani Johnson. You missed the Justin Smith, the Stanley Amude. You missed the Trey Wades, and people would say Trey Wade wasn't anything special. You're right, he wasn't.
Yeah.
But the guy was 6'6", and boy, he would mix it up inside. We've got we've got guys who just can't stay in front of anybody defensively
Yeah.
and can't move defensively.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no glue guy to kind of hold this team together, and
Right.
they're just five guys. They're playing for the name on the back of their jersey, and not for the not for Arkansas Razorbacks. That's across the front of their jersey. It's as a teacher, watching basketball on Tuesday, Wednesday night used to be refreshing because you could grade papers, you could do whatever and watch basketball. But it's very sad right now to watch Razorback basketball. And if they don't have a lead within that first media timeout, it's over with.
You know, our best player by far is Tremont Mark.
Hmm.
But what I've noticed is Tremont Mark is trying to compensate for the lack of offense. He is trying to make these ridiculous shots and I don't know. Do we have a true shooter on the team?
No.
I thought, and I think everybody thought that's what we were getting. We were getting one or two guys that were just pure scorers. And we got guys who right now couldn't buy a bucket if they, even if they had all the money in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. Speaking of the LSU game, our field goal percentage was 43.6 and 3-point was 23.1. Went 3 of 13 from 3 and 24-55 from the field.
Blake, that's not getting it done. That's not getting it done anywhere.
LSU's not a team you should lose by 21.
No, we're talking about a team that coming into the game was 11-9.
Yep.
And we were sitting there at 11-10. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you let Baker, score 25 on you. We were worried about Wright, but Wright only put in 13 points, and Baker he was
Well, you know what, Blake? Let's just call it what it was. He just flat out owned us. He dominated us. We couldn't handle him inside the 3-point line, and we sure as heck couldn't handle him outside the 3-point line.
Yep.
Whatever he wanted to do against us Saturday, was it Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah, Saturday. Whatever he wanted to do Saturday, it was basically morning. He could do it.
I know.
And I get sick to my stomach knowing that we keep losing to these coaches who are first year at their program, players who are playing for the first time ever for this coach. When we got guys who have been in our system, we got the Mitchells, well, of course he's back. That's drama in and of itself. We got the Davises, we got the Brazils, we got guys who've been in the system, but then none of them can stay healthy. Guys walk away from the team, and then. I mean, honestly, Mitchell's not. If Mitchell is your go-to guy, you've got some problems. Mitchell is a role player.
Yep.
So, moving forward, I don't see things getting better. Not this year.
It's gonna be. I mean, I'll still watch, but it's not. If we get down by 20, I'm probably gonna change the channel.
Man, we just don't have a dog. We don't have a dog out there.
Yeah, you thought Minifield might be that guy when he got, that NCAA cleared him. He scored those, had those couple 20-point games, and SEC play started. He's not it. So, all right. So when was this? Tuesday, I think, or Monday or Tuesday. Was announced Devo Davis returned to the basketball program. With this, I bet you also see Brazil is probably healthy all of a sudden. I just wonder if Brazil was suspended and he just, they just said it was a knee injury. I just wonder how on senior night how the fans will react to Devo Davis. Will they boo him? Will they cheer him? I know a lot of people are very upset he's back on the team.
Do Arkansas fans have a right to be upset that he's back? A lot of people say no. A lot of people are saying we should be building him up, and I don't. As a coach, from my former coaching side of things, I'm fed up. As a person, I tend, without coaching involved, I tend to be a little more understanding of situations, and I don't know what he's going through. I don't know what's happened or what it is in the past that he's dealt with, but I know this: it has been a distraction on this program, and I believe it has hurt the program, and at this point, it makes you wonder: is this going to run Eric Musselman off?
Yeah, I mean, there's if you read Twitter message boards, there's rumors out there that he's potentially looking, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do think Muss is the guy for Arkansas. I think he loves Arkansas. Arkansas loves him. You haven't really seen too many fans get mad at Muss this year.
Right.
They know what he's capable of. It's just a bad crop of players. It's a bad locker room. A lot of drama that's very unnecessary going on in that locker room right now.
Yeah. How about well, we'll get to that here in a little bit later in the show.
All right, so up next we face an opponent that has already defeated us this year, Georgia. It's at home, 5 o'clock. It's on the SEC Network. They beat us 76-66 earlier in the conference season. I don't expect anything different this time. Maybe they might beat us by 20 this time because
Yeah, I
Georgia has
mean,
something to play for. We
I'll
don't.
tell you this. Mike White, who was the head coach at Florida a year or two ago,
Mhm.
he's over here at Georgia, and they play hard. They play hard nosed basketball. There's nothing fancy to watch.
Mhm.
It reminds me a little bit of South Carolina. South Carolina plays hard nosed. It's nothing fancy. So just play tough. And and then so you going into the game, you're going to have to deal with Abdur Rahim, who can shoot the ball. You know that they're going to play tough inside. They bullied us on the boards last time, and they're going to shoot the three ball.
Yeah.
Man, I just listed everything we've struggled with
Yeah.
this year. We
Yeah.
can't rebound consistently.
Mhm.
We can't defend the 3-point shot consistently. And you know what? Here's the other thing: is when you play a team like Georgia, they are. I mean, are we at Georgia or we're at home?
No,
We're
it's
at
at
home.
home. Yeah.
But all these teams in the SEC, maybe with the exception of Vanderbilt, Missouri, when a team goes on a run that you're playing against, they all have at least one guy who could hit a big 3-point shot
Mhm.
to keep you in the game, right? To feel like you always have a chance to make that run. Who do we have that makes us feel like, okay, if we're down by 10, we have a guy who can hit a couple big shots to make us feel like we're still in the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
You hold. I don't know about you, Blake. I hold my breath
Yeah.
every time a 3-point shot goes up.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
just holding my breath because I don't have any confidence that we'll make it. I don't.
I don't. There's not a there's not a sharpshooter on this team. I mean, Joseph Pinion was supposed to be it, but he's not as of 2 years into his college career. Liked the kid, but he's not. He's not what we thought he was.
Yeah, I'll give Pinion this. Pinion is an effort guy. Unfortunately, even with effort, even with wanting to be in a Razorback uniform, it doesn't take away from the fact that he's just the speed of the game is too much for him at times. He's a 6'6" kid, and he's got talent, but I don't know if Arkansas or SEC is quite his speed.
Yeah.
I don't mean that condescendingly. I want the kid to do well. I want him when he's playing on the floor for us. I want him to shoot. I want him to make 23s a game. But he can't create his own shot. He can't stay in front of anybody defensively, and rebounding wise, he's going to get bullied.
Yeah.
It's just the matter of fact.
Yeah. So this Saturday, if you're wanting to watch something at 5 o'clock Saturday night, you can watch the Hogs play. Uh, if you're busy, I would not change your plans. But if you're doing something, just go ahead and keep on doing that. All right. I'm gonna talk about it's kind of surprise teams. I'm very impressed with South Carolina so far this season. Your top teams are probably Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, and then you got South Carolina, which is shocking considering how they were last year. Arkansas's got Tennessee coming to town on Valentine's Day. Yeah, that should be a great game on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. When is it? I'm going to tell you something, Blake. So, as SEC talk, as far as
Mm-hmm.
teams that we're impressed with that are surprised to everyone, I don't know of any point in my life that I could tell you more than one player, if any players at all, on the South Carolina basketball team.
Yeah.
But, brother, let me tell you a little something. I can tell you right now 4 to 5 players on the South Carolina team that I am super impressed with. Let me tell you, Meechie Johnson, Cooper, who can shoot the lights out, Studi, BJ Mack, who we tried to get in the portal. He apparently made the right decision.
Yeah.
I think his last name is Murray Boyles, or it's a hyphenated name. He's a freshman, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. Dude, they've got guys up and down the lineup who don't even start that just fill roles. We're talking about role players.
Mm-hmm.
These guys know that they're going to play sound defense. They're going to not take ignorant shots, and they're going to take care of the basketball. and they beat people. They beat people at home. They beat people on the road. What are they? 20-3, 19-3.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Super,
This
super impressive.
this is a team that was like 267th in the BPI last year.
Yeah.
My gosh, if I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know his name. The head coach of South Carolina. I should know his name.
Lamont Paris.
Yes,
Yeah.
he deserves. In my opinion, he deserves Coach of the Year.
Yep.
Coach of the Year, hands down.
Yep. Agree. Regardless if they don't win the SEC or not,
I don't
he
care.
is. Yeah.
That's
He's coach of the
impressive.
year.
What he's doing is what Frank Martin, who was so successful at Kansas State, what Frank Martin could do at South Carolina. This guy has done in what year
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, I remember was a couple years ago. Well, it's probably more than a couple now, but Frank Martin did take them to the Final Four, Elite Eight, but that was just a flash in the pan type of year. He could not sustain that success he had, but we're Arkansas. We kind of root for the underdog, so we're out there rooting for South Carolina. But yeah, SEC is kind of unfolding, kind of how we thought. For a lot of people, the biggest surprise is how bad Arkansas is.
Well,
right now.
I think there's two big surprises: how bad Arkansas is and how bad Texas A&M is.
Yeah.
I think they had picked like Arkansas and A&M like second and third, third and fourth, something like that in the conference. And
okay, his name's A&M's best player,
Baldwin, right?
Anyway, did he
Wade Taylor, right?
Yeah, did he win player of the year last year?
In the conference, he may have.
Yeah.
They got Wade Taylor, and then they got Coleman on the inside, and Coleman didn't play against us, and we beat him. But I'm gonna tell you, I said it from the very beginning. Had Taylor played against us, they probably beat us by 10.
Yeah.
And they missed a lot of free throws down the stretch. So, you got Tennessee, you got Kentucky, you've got Auburn, you've got Ole Miss, who again I think Ole Miss is a surprise, and you've got South Carolina, who again is a surprise. But you got those other teams that are kind of like out there on the bubble. You got the Georgia, you've got the Floridas, and then you got the bottom of the barrel. You've got Arkansas, you've got Vanderbilt, and you've got Missouri. I just never thought that's where we would be.
Yeah. And a team that might sneak up on people is Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, yeah. You're right. I didn't get
4 games are very winnable.
Disrespectful that I don't mention them. Yeah, Mississippi State. They have been pretty consistent as far as the last few years. They're nothing as far as flashy as the record goes, but man, they have at this point in the year that it seems you look up and they're like 15, 16, and 8.
Yep. So
I would take 15 to 16 and 8 right now.
Yeah, so we just gotta get through the month of February, and then Arkansas fans will sit back and watch other SEC teams play in the tournament. Right now I think Lenore has 9 teams from the SEC in the tournament, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But our friend Dave Shoemate tweeted out. He said the officiating in the conference is going to hurt the SEC in the tournament because I think there's a bunch of fouls called last night in the Auburn Bama game, and he said that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt the SEC in tournament time because those officials are not going to call those.
Yeah, I forgot about Bama too. But yeah, there was one point earlier in the year. Was it Arkansas play? There were like 73 free throws shot between the two teams. Yeah, that's got to be addressed. I don't know if you saw this, Blake, and this is not SEC talk, but I believe it was Baylor's AD got fined $25,000 for speaking out against how bad the officiating was in the Big 12.
Yeah, well,
and I'm going to tell you, the officiating in the SEC this year, I would say if I watch a game, I would say 75%, 80% of the time, the officiating is just bad.
Yep. And especially if you got Doug Shows, prime time, Saturday night.
Terry Oglesby, Chuck Jones. I think his name was Chuck Jones. My gosh, that crew was horrible. Yeah. So yeah, I think Dave Shoemate is right. I think he's 100% correct. When they get to the tournament, those little ticky tack fouls, these ridiculous technical fouls that they're calling, the flagrants, those things aren't going to be called. I don't
Mm-hmm.
see that happening.
Yep. But,
So yeah, hopefully it doesn't hurt um, SEC teams, but I can't help but think it probably will.
I mean, you got to think the last 2 years, the team that went the furthest in the tournament has been Arkansas. And
Yeah.
Arkansas hasn't won the SEC. I mean, it's just, I don't know, but I want to bring something. I want to kind of switch to football. You remember a couple years ago when we started coaching and teaching, and we would like watch live streams of National Signing Day. It was a big deal, and we would. I'm sure in high school you all kept up with it, but National Signing Day it was it was yesterday, and like no publicity, nothing, and it's all because of the early signing period at the beginning. It's kind of taken away um the the big time showmanship of the signing day. So I don't know where Ashton went. Ashton is long gone. But go to football news. Arkansas did get a big time commit from the state of Arkansas out of Marion. He's a 4 star. Some people say he's an offensive lineman. Some people say he's a defensive lineman. Carius Kern is staying home. Big time 4 star recruit. I know Mizzou tried to go down and come down to Marion and get him, but they were very unsuccessful in getting him. Uh, Ashton's back.
Man, let me
Uh,
tell you, there's something goes on with his phone. If someone calls me in the
yeah,
middle of our
yeah,
live, I
yeah,
lose all sound. I can't hear
yeah.
anything.
That's good. I was just talking
So,
about how we got a 4 star commitment out of Marion. Carius Kern.
yep,
That's how. Yep.
yeah.
So.
That I think actually a lot of people were surprised because of how many people were on after him as far as big schools go, especially within the SEC. So if to get him, I think 6'4", 301,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's
Big
supposed to be a
kid.
stud. Getting him, he's the number one rated player in the state of Arkansas, and it'd be nice to get the second rated player, which is I think it's Omarion Robinson, I think is his
Mm-hmm.
name, out of Little Rock Parkview.
Yep.
And I think he's listed as a safety, but it'd be nice to get him eventually too. So, but yeah, super quiet signing day. I was
Mm-hmm.
hoping maybe there might be a surprise.
Yeah.
There wasn't, but we're still after or in the ballpark for some transfers.
Yeah, that spring transfer portal window will open up. So Arkansas's got what 9 scholarships, I think.
They got a lot of spots open, which could be good for us.
Mm-hmm.
It could be good for us because it, I started to feel like for a little while there that we were trending in the right direction as far as I thought we were doing really bad, but then we started trending in the right direction with transfers committing. So hopefully we can finish out on a high note with the understanding that we just didn't finish the football season on a good note at all. To bring in good players gives me a little bit of hope, but I'm not going to set my expectations up to
Yeah.
8, 9 wins. If
Yeah.
we win
No.
6 games, 7 games next year, I'll be thrilled.
Yes.
But
Next year is going to
we
be.
need something to build on.
Yeah. I
But
think yeah, we will hit the portal. In the spring. Once we have a few practices, we'll kind of know what we need and whatnot. I also want to point out today, Arkansas Athletics Director Hunter Yurchek was appointed to the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. So he is one of 12 guys on the committee, which I mean,
well,
hey, Arkansas will never be a part of it. So,
we don't
it's
have to worry
nice.
about bias, do we? Yeah,
So
why do
he
they do
was,
that to Arkansas? They always put Arkansas AD on that list.
yeah.
I guess because they just know, hey, you don't have to worry about these guys.
Yeah, Jeff Long was what, the president or something on it
Yeah, he
years ago.
was. Yeah, he
All
was.
right, Wes has a question here. He said, What's your thoughts on moving the signing day to take stress of college coaches as well as high school kids? Also, are there any smaller programs in the state that you're excited to see some local kids compete at?
Yes. I think so. Let's talk about the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Moving the signing day to take stress off of college coaches and then high school kids. I would love that. Let me tell you, whenever I was in high school, um, me and my buddy, we were roommates, but we were offered a spot to play baseball. And we actually did not commit until after the state championship. We played our state championship game. And then we committed, actually verbally committed, but then we signed, I think like 2 weeks after that or a week after that game. I would love to see that it pushed back to give kids time to focus on what they're wanting to do now, and then not have to worry about the stress of I got to commit now, I got to sign now, and then you got those college coaches who are trying to do other things, but then they feel the like the pressure to, if you don't go get this kid now, you'll never have an opportunity at him or her,
Yeah,
depending on
yeah,
what
yeah.
male and female athletics.
I just
And then
feel like
go
I was
ahead.
like I just feel like kids like were committed to like Michigan. It's late in the cycle. Late. They might have signed in what is it, November, October, whatever the first signing day is, and now they were 3 weeks out from signing day, maybe trying to find a new school or trying to get out of their national letter of intent, or
Yeah.
it's a
But
tricky.
I'll also say this. I'll also say this in reference to what Wes is talking about. Whether it's early signing period or a late signing period, at this point in college athletics, I'm going to just tell you this: a verbal commitment means absolutely nothing to me.
Yep, yep,
So if I don't know if players necessarily should have a reason to be stressed out, because if how common it is for someone to verbally commit and then just say, oh, never mind, I'm going here. Um, Now, as far as the national letter of intent goes, if you're signed, you're going to be fortunate. You have a coach like Sam Pittman who lets you out of a national letter of intent, like he did
hmm
um,
hmm
ABR out of
yep,
Texas.
yep.
Um,
Who did go to Texas A? He signed to Texas A&M.
and if anybody thinks that that had nothing to do with money, you lost your mind. Okay, that is probably money, and because it's not like Texas A&M is blowing people out of the water as far as records and numbers go.
Yep,
It's got to be money. Anyways,
yep.
I don't want to debate that, but I think that's what it is. Now, the second thing, are there any smaller programs? Yes, I think number one, the most obvious one, Blake, is Harding.
Yep.
If you look at their roster, there are so many kids from the state of Arkansas. I would love. I think in fact, the running back out of, oh man, Elkins maybe
hmm
somewhere, running back from somewhere committed to Harding, and man, I can not I hope they. I'd love to see them repeat.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them repeat for a national championship in Division Two. Of course, around here you got schools like Henderson State and OBU. They
hmm
battle it out every year in the was it the Battle of the Ravine?
Yeah. Yep.
So those games are always fun. And a lot of local kids here in like Central Arkansas, they end up at schools like Henderson and at
Yep.
OBU. Um, so yeah, I think it's right now things are good in Arkansas collegiate wise, because a lot of these other junior college programs are starting to pop up and give kids in the state of Arkansas more opportunities at different places, especially my favorite sport in baseball and softball.
Yeah.
There,
I
there are a
will
lot of
say, here in Southeast Arkansas at Monticello, we had 4 kids signed to UAM because there's nothing more evil than a damn boll weevil. And then me and you have a former athlete in Taylor Pascal who signed with Arkansas Tech. Now, there's a pipeline from Crosset to Arkansas Tech.
yeah.
Uh, Taylor is a stud. He's an athlete. I think his freshman year he won the state championship in long jump and track. I mean, and if you know anything about the Pascals, they are just some great kids and very great athletes.
Yeah, great athletes, great kids. I remember having them both in class. Generally speaking, I mean, we're talking about kids who worked hard in the classroom, um, and then also We have another kid at Arkansas Tech that was one of our quarterbacks at CrossFit, and that's Tyreek Jones, who has moved. I believe, made the move to defensive back.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a pipeline a little bit to obviously UAM number one, and then you get a lot of kids who end up at Arkansas
Yeah.
Tech. And I think Michael Jenkins was at Arkansas Tech as a defensive line coach,
Mm-hmm.
and I could be wrong, but I think maybe he's over at Memphis now.
Yeah. That's last I checked. Wes is the Memphis guy. He'll know for sure. But going back to your Elkins, it's Deshaun Chairs, I guess. Deshaun Chairs.
Okay.
Chars for Elkins.
Yeah, I saw that he had. I saw that he had I guess committed to Harding. If that's who we're
Mm-hmm.
still talking about the same person,
Yeah.
I think it was the running back. If it is him, yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about him. Yeah, Taylor Pascal. Yep, there you go.
Michael J. Yep. So there's a lot of talents out down here in the southeast, especially at Warren. You're going to see some big time D1 schools here in the next couple years visiting. Down here in the Pink Tomato Land, when talking to Bo because he's got some studs at receiver. If you know anything about Burks and was it Childs and
Yeah, I remember. I
Bragg and
remember, and we both remember when Traylon was down here kicking our tails in just about every sport you could think of:
yeah,
football, basketball, baseball. He could do it all, and boy, he was a difference maker. But um,
yeah, and John.
yeah, I like the Cheers. Okay, so there he is. He's the running back, right? Okay. I knew there was someone from Elkins, but I just couldn't remember who it was.
Yeah,
But uh, who was I talking about? I was talking about someone now. I can't remember who it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Burks being a difference maker, but there's another kid down there right now named Antonio Jordan, who I remember he was tearing us up in seventh grade football on just deep ball after deep ball after deep ball,
Yeah,
touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
yeah,
So I think he's going to be your next big receiver out of Warren if he keeps his head on straight, gets his, keeps grades up and all that stuff, and stays healthy.
yeah. So there's a lot of talent. Just gotta some coaches just have to see it. A lot of Arkansas guys have to go to small schools and then potentially enter that portal or be like Greg Jr. and just stay all 4 years and get drafted.
Yeah, shout out to Gregory Jr. Man,
Yeah,
what a career, right? What a career so far that he's had. So much success at OBU. And I mean, we're talking about a great kid, right? All these people we're talking about, as far as athletes that we had, for the most good kids, hard workers, had a nose for the football. Gregory Jr. being definitely one of those kids. Baseball, basketball, football, band.
hmm
Did all those things while he was in high school,
yeah.
and now he's playing
There's
professional football.
since we're going story time with Chuck here.
Yeah,
There there's a kid called Marcus Slater. Okay. Now he had injuries, but he did go D1. But I remember he was at a baseball game with you, and I think Coach Lawson, someone texted you and said, "Hey, he needs to come. He's in the 4x1 or some track event." So he went from baseball to track, ran his event, then hopped back over to baseball. I mean, there's just some studs, some
get a
stud
base hit in the
athletes.
third inning, run a four by
Yeah,
one in the fourth inning, come back, get another base hit in the fifth inning.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we there are definitely athletes to be found in Southeast Arkansas, no doubt about it.
All right, so going to your favorite sport, which you had a pretty decent junior college career. Play to get some future
I didn't really have that great
college.
of a junior college career. A lot of guys I played with had good junior college careers, including
Yeah,
my roommate who was from the same high school as me. But I noticed I saw Hunter Dietz is supposed to be back um, in the rotation. I don't remember how long it said, several weeks or a month or two or
yeah.
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be needed. He's a left-handed pitcher. We'll need him. We're loaded. We're loaded pitching wise, but there's a lot of high expectations at Baum Stadium this year.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
got pieces. What I hated to see, Blake, and this really frustrated me, was Peyton Stovall go down.
Yeah, that stupid injury bug. But he's only out for a couple weeks or 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it's 4 to 6 weeks. But Blake, you see how he got hurt?
Yep.
He got hit by a pitch in a
Mm-hmm.
scrimmage
Yep.
in the foot and broke a bone in his foot.
Which how many scrimmages they've been scrimmaging every day it seems. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna tell you, Van Horn. He just look at the numbers. The man puts people into the pros. Um, Peyton Paulette, even whenever he was unhealthy, he still managed to get drafted. That's a big talent there. Kerstad got called up to play for the Orioles, and in his first major league at bat, hit a home run.
yeah.
Um, Benintendi continues to play in the pros. He didn't have a great year this last year, but he's had several successful seasons in Boston, and I think he's with the White Sox now. But Van Horn's had some dudes, man. He's had some absolute dudes. Ryan Stanek is another one that comes to mind. So I'm looking forward to a fun baseball season. I think, what are we, 10 days away? 12 days away?
8 days.
8 days.
We have a 4-game series starting next Friday against James Madison. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
James Madison. That is such a small world, because I brought up my roommate. That is where my college roommate signed to play his last 2 years of college baseball. He was a Duke.
Yep.
James Madison Dukes.
So the preseason coaches poll came out in the SEC, and Florida is predicted to win the East. Arkansas is predicted to win the West. With 9 votes, Arkansas is predicted to win the SEC. So,
I like votes and everything, Blake, but I want to see results.
Yep. And with the way Arkansas Athletics has been going, we are not getting our hopes up at all.
No.
So
I'm not.
Now, a sport that started today is softball, and guess what? They got to win.
Did they win 2 today or just 1?
No, they play at 6. They play in about 10 minutes, but they beat Marshall earlier today. Was it 10-3 was the score? So
yes,
they play FAU or FIU, one of them Florida teams.
Man, and I remember the time when Arkansas Razorback softball was bottom of the barrel SEC softball, and since Coach, here I am. I can't remember names. Coach who?
Deifel.
Yeah, I guess that's how you say it. Well, since she's got there, Arkansas softball is on the map, baby. They play hard. They hit the ball, and they generally they pitch the ball well too. Get some decent arms up there. But one thing they do is they can tear the cover off the softball.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think you can watch it on Flow Sports if you want to. It's a paid subscription service type deal. And next week, the Hogs go to Dallas. Was it Globe Life Stadium? And they will.
So that's Texas Ranger Stadium, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they will play Oklahoma State.
And Michigan.
Well, they start with Oregon State, which gives the PTSD. And then Oklahoma State and Michigan.
Yeah, anytime the ball goes in the air against Oregon State, I start hyperventilating.
Yeah. So we'll have some baseball to talk about next week. But this Sunday, it's the final NFL game of the season. And Ashton, for the betting people out there who love the Bet Saracen app, and for Josh Cook, he loves to take your betting advice. What is your prediction?
I've got Kansas City -3 because I just couldn't. I'm not a betting man, okay? I don't bet. Yeah. But if I was, Blake, but I'm not. But if I was, I could not bring myself to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Well, this is what my wife has told me. Okay. My wife is a Taylor Swift fan. All right, it is super. Do you know Taylor Swift's favorite number?
Gosh, 11. I don't know.
No, 13. It's 13.
Okay.
All right, this is Super Bowl 58. What's 5 plus 8?
13.
Okay, this will be her 13th Chiefs game that she attends. Do you know the date is 2/11? What's 2 plus 11?
13. Golly, here we go.
do you know how long the flight is? She's playing in Tokyo this weekend.
13 hours.
It's 13 hours. Okay, the 49ers are the 1 seed.
And the Chiefs are the 3 seed.
So that makes
4.
13.
Oh.
All right, what's 100 minus 13?
7 or 87.
What's Travis Kelce's number?
87.
Okay, it's written in the stars. Okay, Chiefs by 13. There you go.
Chiefs by 13. All right.
Yep.
Well, then Blake, there's your betting people. They're going to cover.
Yep, they will cover by a lot. Okay. No, but I don't honestly. I could care less who wins.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I could care less. I think the Chiefs will win, but I'm going to tell you right now. I think it would be what an amazing story if Brock Purdy was to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Mr. Irrelevant winning a Super Bowl as the last pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah, and
I remember watching him, Blake. I don't know if you remember watching him play for Iowa State, and I always thought he was a good quarterback, but never in my wildest dream would I said, "Yep, there's a Super Bowl. There's a Super Bowl winning quarterback right there."
Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, winning the Super Bowl. Now there's some Arkansas players on the 49ers, and there's also one on the Chiefs we have not talked about because he did not go to Arkansas to play. He went to Baylor. And he's out of England, Arkansas, small town. It's B.J. Thompson.
Okay.
So he is on the Chiefs. So either way, some Arkansan is going to win a Super Bowl. So that's all we can be happy about. So
well, part of us wanted it to be. Most of us wanted it to be Frank Ragnow.
Yes.
Dan Skipper, but we'll take Drake Greenlaw or we'll take B.J. Thompson. Either one, we don't care as long as an Arkansan gets a ring.
Yep. So. All right, Ashton, you need a medicine up. You know, you got to strip through.
I got a shot today, brother, right there in the hip, and I made the nurse blush. Okay, so no, right, I've enjoyed it tonight. It was I've really enjoyed this show. I feel like I actually know what the heck we're talking about tonight. So, but I'll admit this for the people listening. Blake had to remind me that we had a show tonight.
You know, every Thursday, 5:00. 5:10, 5:15, sometimes 5:30.
Oh man!
All right. Well, this has been 4-Star Sports Media. This has been, like I said, the happiest hour of your day here on the Hogs.
That's right. That's right.
So, if you ever need any PE advice, talk to Ashton. So
hit me up. Hit me up. And if you ever need any life advice, or if you need to know anything FBI related, Blake knows all the tea.
Yes.
Give him a shout.
The Hogue News Network. HNN, not CNN.
Oh, man. All right, Blake, man. I've enjoyed it.
Yep.
Y'all be good.
See you next week.
See ya.